Welcome back. So today we're talking about the second part of our law of cosines. So we're just going to do a couple examples. One is finding all those missing pieces using laws of cosines, and one is going to be a word problem. So we're going to start out by solving for triangle KLM. So if you remember, that means we're going to find all the missing pieces. So if we look here at our triangle KLM, we're going to be finding angle L, so the measure of angle L, side K, and angle M. Okay, so those are the three pieces that we're going to be finding. And then for our angles, we're going to be going to the nearest degree, and for sides, we're going to the nearest tenth. Okay, well, we're going to start out with finding our side K. We know angle K, and we know the two sides that are next to it, so we're going to be using our law of cosines. So that was K squared equals our two sides squared, so 14 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times our sides, so 2 times 14 times 18, and then cosine of K, angle K. Alright, so then we're just going to start simplifying things here. So we have 14 squared. If we punch that into our calculator, we get 196. Plus 18 squared is 324, minus, we're going to take the 2 times the 14 times the 18, and we get 504. And then we have cosine of 51, and that all equals our K squared. Okay? Alright, so then from there, we're just going to do the square root of both sides because we want K by itself. So K equals, so I'm just going to bring my calculator up here, and I'm just going to punch all of this in. So first we're going to start out with our square root, and then we have 196 plus the 324 minus the 504 cosine. So go to my trig functions, cosine of 51, and then we hit the enter, and we come up with 14.2415773, and it told us to go to the nearest tenth, so we're going to go 14.2. So this is 14.2, and I'm going to bring that over here as well. Okay, so 14.2 is our K. So then the next thing that we're going to do is find the angles. Now for the angles, I'm actually going to use the law of sines. So I'm going to use the K that I just found. So sine of K over K equals, I'm going to start with L. So sine of L over L. So then we have sine K is 51, so sine of 51 over the 14.2 that we just found equals sine of L, we don't know L, over side L, which is 18. Okay, so then from there we're going to be doing our cross products. So we have 18 sine of 51 equals 14.2 sine of L. So then from here we're going to divide by that 14.2 because we want L by itself. So 14.2 on both sides. So those cross out. We're left with sine of L equals 18 sine of 51 over 14.2. And you've noticed I haven't simplified this fraction over here yet. I'm going to wait and do all of that in my calculator so that I have the most precise answer. So then from here we want to get rid of this sign, so if you remember we can multiply that by sine to the negative 1. Sine to the negative 1, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Sine to the negative 1. So then I'm going to cross these out, those cancel, and I'm left with L equals. Bring out my calculator again. I'm going to start with my sine to the negative 1, so I'll go to my trig functions, sine to the negative 1. And then in my parentheses, I'm going to put 18 sine of 51, and then outside of the parentheses for that 51, so I'm between the two, I'm going to put divide, and then the 14.2, So I should still have a parentheses on the right of my 14.2. I'm going to hit enter, and I end up with 80.10, and then it keeps going. It told me to round my angle measures to the nearest degree. So this would be 80 degrees. So angle L is 80 degrees. So then I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to plug that in there. So then to find the last one, which is angle M, I'm not going to use law of sines or cosines. I'm going to use that third angle theorem. So we have angle K is 51 plus angle L is 80 plus angle M should give me 180. Okay, so if I add together my 51 plus my 80, I end up with 131 plus M equals the 180. So then we just subtract 180 minus the 131, and we end up with M equals 49. Okay, so then I'm going to put my 49 in there for M. That's 49 degrees. Okay. Alright, so let's do another example. So this is our word problem. We have Miss Jenkins, and she's buying some property that's in the shape of a quadrilateral. Here's our quadrilateral. And we're going to find the perimeter of that property. Perimeter, if you remember, we're going to go all the way around the outside. Well, we have 3 of the sides, but we don't have this last one. So in order to do that, I'm actually going to find C first from B to D. Because I have a right triangle here, I can use my Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so C squared equals, we have 180 squared plus 240 squared. So the 180 squared, if you punched into your calculator, you should get 32,400 plus the 240 squared is 57,600, and that's still equal to our C squared. So we're just going to add those together. And when we add those together, we get 90,000. So C squared equals 90,000. And if we do the square root of both sides so we can find C, we end up with C equals 300. Okay, so I'm going to plug that in here on my picture. This is 300. So then from there, I'm going to use my law of cosines to find B. Okay, so then I'm going to use B squared equals 200 squared plus 300 squared, those are my two sides, minus 2 times those sides, so 2 times 200 times 300, and then cosine of 60. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and slide this up then. So now we're just going to simplify these. So 200 squared, we end up with 40,000. And if you remember, the 300 squared was 90,000 minus 2 times the 200 times the 300 gives us 120,000, and then it's cosine of 60. That's still our B squared. So then from there, I'm just going to take the square root of both sides. Square root of both sides. So on my calculator, pull this back up here, start with my square root, and I'm going to type in 40,000 plus 90,000 minus 120,000 cosine, so my trig functions of 60, enter, and I get 264.57, and it keeps going. We're going to go to the nearest tenth, so 264.6. So B is approximately 264.6. 264.6, so I'm going up to my picture and writing that in. Okay, but we didn't want to know just the sides, we want the perimeter. So we're going to be adding those all together. Okay, so my sides here, I have 180, that's this one, plus this side is 200, plus Side B is 264.6, and then AD is 240. So we're going to add all of those sides together, and we end up getting a total of 884.6. Oh, let me slide up just a little bit there. 884.6, and that's feet for the actual perimeter of that fence. Okay? Alright, so that is all for today. So we found perimeter and we found the missing pieces using sine, cosine, and our third angle theorem and Pythagorean. Have a great day, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.